Welcome to the BrainShape Podcast, hosted by Dr. Andrea Wilkinson, a show where we cut through the noise of the ever-growing, ever-changing world of brain health. What works and what doesn't, what's fact and what's fiction. We look at tips, tools, and techniques backed up by real scientific studies to help you keep your brain healthy and hopefully have some fun along the way. Now, here's your host, Dr. Andrea Wilkinson.
You're listening to the BrainShape Podcast, episode number 34. Staying independent and living in your home is of utmost importance to you. In line with this goal, it is so important that you create a home environment that supports any changes to your physical mobility, flexibility, or balance as you age. Even if this topic is not yet relevant to your current situation, it is such a valuable conversation to have, as small modifications to your living environment can have a tremendous impact on creating a space that you can safely grow older in for years to come. But before we get to our interview, I want to tell you about a really exciting opportunity to work with me directly. Before I get to telling you about how we can work together, let me first ask you this. Have you ever been in the middle of a conversation and forgotten a name or what that thing is called? It happens to so many people, and I know how frustrating it can be. You want to experience less minor memory slips, especially while in the middle of a conversation. You tell yourself that it's just a normal part of aging. But memory slips and mental fog do not need to be a normal part of aging. Creating a life that supports your mental and physical vitality is within your reach. But there is no magic pill. You have to want it, and you have to work for it. In case you don't know me yet, my name is Dr. Andrea Wilkinson, and I have a PhD in psychology with a specialization in cognitive aging. I've been studying aging and cognitive maintenance and how our memories change over time for over 15 years, and I want to introduce you to my 5-step signature methodology, the Brain Vitality Blueprint. Inside my program, I teach you the 5 steps that you need to follow to create lifestyle habits that optimize your memory, cognition, and physical vitality so you can look and feel energized. The Brain Vitality Blueprint is highly personalized because, let's face it, there's no one-size-fits-all solution to brain health. You are unique, and as such, you have specific and personalized needs when it comes to keeping your brain fit and your body active. The program is for you if you are a retiree who is looking for ways to up-level their lifestyle so they can improve their memory and feel energized. The program is also for retirees who are already knowledgeable about brain health, but they're having trouble executing on what they know they should be doing in their everyday lives. So you need an accountability partner. And so the Brain Vitality Blueprint is the perfect program for you. So if you're interested in creating your own Brain Vitality Blueprint with me personally, I'm now opening a limited number of spots in my program. So what's involved in the Brain Vitality Blueprint? What does this program consist of? Well, I'm super glad that you asked. My signature methodology covers the 5 steps that you need to follow to optimize your brain health. Step 1 is a lifestyle audit. So we take an inventory of all of your daily and weekly routines and habits so we can identify which habits are causing the most damage and create replacement routines so that you can optimize your brain health. Step 2 is to get your body moving. You'll learn the science behind physical movement and how it impacts your health and your vitality and your mental functions, and you'll develop a personalized plan on how to incorporate movement into your daily life. Step 3 is eating for brain health. What you eat is at the core of your brain health. So we will break down the gut brain connection, and you'll learn the fundamentals of eating for brain health. You'll learn how to create your plate and build a personalized meal plan. Step 4 is managing your sleep cycles and your stress. So you're going to learn how stress and sleep both impact your brain, and then we'll cover strategies that you can use to help optimize your sleep hygiene on a daily basis and also help you manage day-to-day stressors in your life. And the last step, certainly not the least, is sharpening your mind. We'll cover the science behind brain fitness and cognitive maintenance, and you'll learn science-based strategies to boost your mental performance. And together, we're going to create a personalized brain fitness plan. And I'll be there every step of the way. I truly believe that you need more than information to get transformation, and I structured the Brain Vitality Blueprint accordingly. So in addition to getting the educational video modules, you're going to get one-on-one customized help and support directly from me, Dr. Andrea. We'll have weekly one-on-one calls to ensure that you're learning everything you need to know and to keep you motivated and accountable as you set out to accomplish your goals. So if you're ready to improve your memory, cognition, and physical vitality so you can look and feel energized, and you want to accomplish these goals by working directly with me on a one-on-one basis, then head on over to brainshape.ca. Right there on the homepage in the top banner, you're going to see Brain Vitality Blueprint. Simply click on the Learn More button and you'll be able to read all about the program. And most importantly, book a call with me, because we need to get on that call to make sure that this program is the perfect fit for you. I only work with people that I know I can help. So this call is really to make sure that your goals align with what the Brain Vitality Blueprint offers. So remember, there's only a limited number of spots available. So if you are interested, you need to get on that call with me as soon as possible. So head on over to brainshape.ca, click on the Learn More button in the top banner under Brain Vitality Blueprint, and book that call. I'm so looking forward to chatting with you and guiding you on your brain health journey. Now let's get to today's interview. Today we're talking with Guiselle Miranda, an occupational therapist with a passion to help the aging population stay at home safely, prevent falls, and age in place. Together with her business partner Kathleen, they started Aging Evolved to help elevate the concept of aging into something empowering to help older adults remain independent for as long as possible. Here we go. Here's Guiselle Miranda. Hi, Guiselle. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to chat with you today about your Aging Evolved initiative. I'm so excited to learn about it. So I'm wondering if you can tell us, just to start off, tell us a little bit about you and your background and how you got started as an occupational therapist.
Absolutely. Well, I've been an OT for a little over 7 years. My primary experience is in acute care or hospitals with patients post-fall or surgery or illness. I've also worked in inpatient rehab and home health care. And currently I am a travel therapist taking contracts around the U.S. in areas with urgent needs for therapists. My partner, Kathleen, she has worked in inpatient rehabs and geriatric units. Through travel therapy, she moved to California and now in LA and is working in an inpatient rehab hospital with primary the stroke population.
Very interesting. Can you tell the listeners, for anyone who's unfamiliar with the term occupational therapist, what is an occupational therapist? What do they do?
Simply put, an occupational therapist focuses on increasing independence through meaningful activities. As OTs, we enable people of all ages just to live their best life by helping them promote health and prevent injury or disability. It can vary through population. Some work with kids in schools, and some work with moms and breastfeeding, and we work with seniors at home, hoping to help with self-care and remaining active in the community. As OTs, we have a holistic perspective, so our focus is in adapting the environment or the task to fit the person, and we really work together with the person to help reach their highest level of independence.
That is excellent. So with that in mind, you and Kathleen created an initiative called Aging Evolved. So can you tell us about this initiative, what it is, and why you started it?
Yes, we are so excited about this. Aging Evolved really just started as a passion project for Kathleen and I. We were in the master's program for occupational therapy together years ago. And actually our research project was on preventing falls in the aging community. And it just kind of followed through with this project many years later. We both really enjoy working with the aging population, and just through our experience have seen how difficult it can be for families that have to plan home safety for discharge from a hospital without being prepared. So we hope to empower our aging population and their families to better prepare for this event and hopefully prevent it from occurring. So we'll be providing safety tips for families who like to research and take action on their own, and also providing home safety assessments via video calls to reach those who need a little bit more help with home setup.
Very interesting. So you talk a lot about this whole notion of aging in place, because the idea is to keep the older adult population independent and at home for as long as possible. So what does aging in place mean to you?
Well, essentially, it's just staying in your home while you age. For us at Aging Evolved, it means adapting your home so that you can remain independent for as long as possible. It's just preparing for that so that you can remain home for as long as possible and live, your life to the fullest.
So I just wanted to sort of pick your brain a little bit about the concept of aging evolved. So what are you thinking in terms of empowering the aging population? How are you hoping to do that? And how do you hope to evolve this concept of aging?
Yes. Well, we hope to remind the aging population and their families that remaining independent is possible. We want to shift that concept of aging from debilitation to empowerment and just taking control of your life while you age. It's possible. Aging shouldn't be seen as a negative phase in life. And, we believe that with the proper resources, people will feel empowered and be able to make the best decisions for their life and feel proud of the stage that they're in.
Yeah. So on your social media platforms, specifically for me, I've been looking at your Instagram account, and it's absolutely fascinating and so inspiring. You talk a lot about the importance of prevention. So why do you think, in your own opinion, why is preventing falls so important?
Well, think about it. It's much more difficult to recover from a fall than to prevent a fall. And people usually don't think that they're going to fall, but just preparing and preventing it can save a person time, money, physical hardship, and it can provide more confidence. Fear of fall can take a huge toll on a person's emotional well-being.
Yeah, it absolutely can. And it can also limit people in the types of activities that they engage in on a regular basis if they are experiencing a fear of falling. And I completely agree with you in the notion of preventing falls, because we know from research as well that if someone does experience a fall and ends up in hospital, that rehabilitation process as you get older becomes a longer period of time. And these falls have also been associated with increases in cognitive impairment. So you can think about you have a big fall and then you have to stay in the hospital for a long time and then spend all of this time and effort rehabilitating, that it takes a really huge toll on someone's overall health and ultimately impacts their cognitive health. So on board with you in terms of preventing falls. And I absolutely love that sort of mission at Aging Evolved. So some of the posts that you share on social media is all about setting your home up so that you can live independently for as long as possible. So what are some tips and tricks that you can share with our listeners about setting up your home properly so that they can be independent and they can prevent falls?
Well, I would say to ask yourself a few questions. Do you feel comfortable or safe getting around your home? Do you have a history of falls? Do you feel like you have to hold on to the walls or furniture to get around? Or if you're a family member, are you uncomfortable with your loved one's mobility? You know, if any of these are yes, there may be some changes at home that you would benefit from. We also have a free home safety checklist on our website that can help guide you to self-evaluate your home for safety concerns. So that would be a good thing to check out.
Yeah, that's excellent. I'm sorry, I missed where listeners can go to get that checklist.
It's on our website, agingevolved.com.
That is excellent. I'm definitely going to check that out because my dad is 79 years old and, his mobility has definitely been changing as the years progress. And so just thinking about, even a recent visit to the house where he does have to, hold on to countertops and it's harder for him to stay standing for extended periods of time. So I think that that's super important for family members to have a checklist that they can go to help assess whether there are any concerns and then what they can do to help their loved ones live independently for as long as possible. I'm wondering if you can maybe share with us some safety tips that listeners can use to implement into their homes.
Well, I would say that the top 3 would be to first check the height of your bed. Mm-hmm. Can your feet touch the floor when you're sitting at your bed? Can you get on and off the bed easily, or do you have to climb in? Number 2, check your bathrooms. Add bars to the shower tub near the toilet. Is the height okay for you to sit and stand from? And number 3, put items that you use frequently within an easy-to-reach area. In my experience in the hospital, most patients that have fallen have been off the bed, in the bathroom, or reaching overhead or below. These 3 tips are pretty important to start with.
Mm-hmm. Those are really important. And so what would you say to anyone who has concerns about the aesthetics of having some of these helpful tools in place in their home? So they're worried that it's going to look weird for guests if they come over and they see, grab bars in their bathroom or certain things in the room that help them with mobility.
Honestly, because there are more and more people that are choosing to stay in their homes, there are many contractors and interior decorators who are willing to work with you to make the modifications match the style of your home. So, you have a lot more options out there. And I would also say, just to take a step back and think about where these negative connotations come from. I really think that we should start to embrace the idea of empowering our aging and shifting and modifying or adapting the way we're doing it. I think that if you can own it, you can empower yourself and you can build your own self-confidence rather than, occupying the opinion of an outside group or, the mentality that there is right now.
And do you have any experience where there's differing mobility needs for 2 separate individuals that are living within the same home? So perhaps it's a married couple and one person may have physical limitations and need some of these extra devices where the other person doesn't need them? And how do you sort of meet somewhere in the middle? How do you rectify that?
Yeah, absolutely. That can be done. Most of the equipment can be removed and added as needed. So it can be modified that way. It really depends what that need is. But, just for an example, to have a shower chair in the shower, that can be placed when the person who needs it needs to use it for showers, and it can be taken out if it isn't needed. So there's definitely ways to adapt it to multiple levels of independence, just depending on needs. But, we'll be more than happy to talk through that depending on what a need would be.
And I also remember one of your sort of safety tips around the home was about rugs and carpets. And I thought this was so interesting, at least from a personal perspective, because my parents seem to love rugs and there's a lot of them in their home. And I honestly see it as a tripping hazard. So I worry that there's going to be some accidental fall just because there's so many rugs and they're, all bunched up sometimes, and they can really increase a likelihood of a fall. So how do you sort of mitigate this idea of, I really like these rugs, I want them in the home, they make the space nice, and we've had them here for years, as compared to this is now becoming a tripping hazard and could increase the likelihood of falls, and that now they should potentially be removed. So how do you meet somewhere in the middle?
So rugs can definitely be a fall hazard. Like you said, the ends of it can cause a tripping hazard. Sometimes we're walking and we don't notice, maybe it's caught on our foot. There's so many things with a rug. And you're right, I have seen them in homes all over, in every room, kitchens, bathrooms, living rooms. If you're going to keep a rug, make sure you firmly fasten the rug. There are, anywhere, Walmart, Walgreens, they have little tabs that can fasten the ends so that it doesn't lift up when you're walking. There are different ways that you can maybe just change from having it, like if it's a smaller area and you're more than likely to pass by it and trip by it, then let's remove it from, let's say, a bathroom. That's a much smaller area to get around, and can be a greater fall risk, and maybe leave it in the larger rooms where you would like it for aesthetic reasons. There are ways to go around it and figure out a way and compromise and still provide that sense of they have the power to decide. We don't want to fully just take away their right to decide how to decorate or how to have their home, but maybe just make those safety recommendations and help them see and understand why it's important and how it can affect them, and try to find a solution together. Because the person is part of the team, of working together to make them independent. So they're important too, and their opinion matters too. So, working together is how we'll find the best solution for their home and for their life.
And did you want to tell us a little bit about a free giveaway that you have coming up on your social media platforms?
Yes, we're so excited about this too. So just to kick off our new Aging Evolved, we will be giving away 2 free home safety assessments via video call. So stay tuned, follow along on Instagram for your chance to get a free home safety assessment.
Very exciting. Thank you so much, Guiselle. This has been absolutely eye-opening and so informative and really helpful to help frame the discussion around staying independent in your home for longer and how there does need to be some modifications that take place as you age, and the changes that take place sort of evolve across the life span. So I just want to thank you so much for highlighting that for us. And so if anyone is interested in following along on your social media platforms, in learning more about these free home assessments that you're giving out soon on your social media platforms, where can they go to find out more about you and to keep in touch with you?
Well, you can check out our website, agingevolved.com, and we also are on Instagram and Facebook at Aging Evolved, where we'll be having blogs and home safety tips to follow, and we also have a phone number, 832-303-2313 if you want to give us a call. But make sure you follow along on Instagram and Facebook for a chance to get a free home safety assessment.
That is very exciting. I'm definitely going to tell my parents to check out the opportunities for the free home assessment, because I'm very enlightened to the challenges that come with age as mobility changes. And I'm definitely thinking about how I'm seeing my parents' mobility change as time goes on, and how these small little updates to the environment, how that can have such a huge impact on allowing someone to be independent for longer and still continue to do the things that they love to do. So thank you so much for that, Guiselle. And I'm so excited to continue to follow you on Instagram and Facebook. And I'll put all the links to your website and all your social media platforms on in the show notes. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
To learn more about the work that Guiselle and Kathleen are doing over at Aging Evolved, you can visit their website at agingevolved.com. I'll put the link in the show notes, and follow them on social media at Aging Evolved. If you missed any of this, you can dive into the show notes for this episode and all past episodes at www.brainshape.ca/podcast. To access the show notes from today's episode specifically, just type episode 34 in the search bar, and today's episode will pop right up. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that this episode opened your eyes to the many small but significant modifications you can make to your home that can have a tremendous impact on how you live your everyday life and help to ensure your safety and independence for years to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so that you'll be notified every time we publish a new episode. And since we're a weekly show, I'll see you back here next week. In the meantime, you can follow me on social media at BrainShapeTO, and be sure to let me know if there are any specific topics that you want me to cover on the podcast. Until next time, keep your brain in shape. And as always, it's been such a pleasure hanging out with you.